Everybody. This is my hardware review for the Nintendo 3DS. Alright, we're going to start off with some good things here. First of all, the 3D works. It legitimately works. I can prove it to you. If you ever want to see it, just let me know whenever. And if you live where I'm at, I can probably show it to you if you're a little skeptical on whether it works or not, or whether it'll work for you. I know that there are certain people with an astigmatism in their eye that if they don't have it corrected by either glasses or contacts or by something else, then they may have some problems with the 3D on the 3DS. They just see some double images. I don't know anyone firsthand, but I have heard of a few people from gaming review sites who got to see it back at E3 last June, and he said it just didn't work for him. He just saw double images, but he's not doing anything to correct his astigmatism. I also have an astigmatism, but 3D works fine for me. I've played it with my contacts in, I've played it with my glasses on, and it works just fine. Uh, Another thing to say about the 3D is it adds depth. It doesn't pop out images like you see in movies like Avatar, How to Train Your Dragon. It basically allows you to see farther into the screen and you can judge distances better. The game I got is Pilot Wings Resort, and I've seen a lot of instances in that where I've had to shoot targets or had to take a picture of something or just trying to dodge obstacles. It's much easier with the 3D on because I can tell exactly where they're at in relation to my aircraft instead of having to guess by how small or large it looks. Alright, another thing is it's graphically superior to a regular DS. I wouldn't put it on GameCube or PS2 levels, but it's well above Nintendo 64 or PS1. It's in a weird middle ground. I know that they do have the technology to put in uh GameCube chips into a handheld, like they've made them smaller and they can get them running and working on a handheld. And I have seen some screen footage of Sony's NGP, which is the successor to the 3DS, and those graphics look about like they do on a HD TV with the PS3. So I know it's not at the current generation's level, and it might be at last generation's level, but regardless, it is a very good improvement over the regular DS. The stylus, they've got a new stylus. It's telescopic. It's a bit bigger and it's a bit longer. That's what she said. Uh, and that it feels nice. I haven't had any problems with it at all. There's this new thing called an analog slider. I'll get out my 3DS. I've got it right here, and it's this little thing right here. It acts as an analog stick basically, but it doesn't stick out. It just slides, but it feels very nice. It's very responsive. It's very tight. I yeah, I like it a lot. It works very well. Way better than the PSP's little analog nub thing. That I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna break that whenever I use it. This very responsive, very nice. The 3D slider, you can adjust how much 3D you want, ranging from full 3D to no 3D, of course. That also works very well, very responsive. I use it a lot. Whenever I get a slight headache, but we'll talk more about that later. The user interface on it, when you start it up, it's very nice. It works well. It's intuitive. You can adjust it between two settings, and I adjusted it to one that's more kind of like the Wii home menu, where you've got all the blocks kind of in horizontal and vertical rows, and I like that. It works very nice. I can jump between things very easily. Also, the battery life on it though is very short. It's 2 hours with the 3D on and 5 with it off usually. That's been the general consensus. But Nintendo has remedied this or they've made charging easier by coming up with this thing, and I'll get mine out, called a charging cradle. It's just a little piece of plastic, and you plug it in at that port there, and then you just all you have to do is set down your 3DS on top of it, and it starts charging like immediately. Once it's down, it charges. It's like a those things they used to show a lot of commercials for. I can't remember what they're called right now. I not for the life of me. Where you put something on the back of your device and you just set it down. It's like a charge pad, and I can't think of what they are for the life of me. Uh, some more bad things. It feels incomplete at this point. It it's there's no store to download games or other apps, and they say that's planned, but it did not launch with it. And I have the latest title update and nothing. Netflix is also coming for it, so you can watch 3D movies or just regular movies and TV shows on it. So it's kind of like if all the TVs in your house are busy, or if you don't have a TV in like a dorm room or an apartment or something, then there you go. You've got Netflix right there in your pocket if you're in Wi-Fi. Uh, and there's also no internet browser. I know this isn't an important function, but the fact that it's missing, I mean, it's right there. The button for it is there, but when you click it, it says internet is not available in this title update. It will be available later, or something along those lines. And so knowing that stuff is coming, or having it sit there right in front of you but you can't use it, I don't understand why they did that. I don't know if they didn't have it ready. They should have just pushed back the launch date to have all of that stuff on day one. But the fact is, it's not there. And this is a review of the hardware right now. Another thing, the 3D hurts your eyes. It gives you a headache after a long time, like say about an hour and a half is usually where I start hitting my mark of when my eyes start hurting. But usually I can just take off the 3D, or I set it down and go do something else for a while. And so but it's still kind of an issue. It's something to think about, especially when games like Pilot Wings Resort, when the 3D does so much for the gameplay and actually helps you. It's kind of a problem if you're one of those people who just likes to sit down for hours on end and play. And also the battery life factors into that too. It's inconvenient to be tethered to a wall with a handheld system. Another thing, it comes with alternate reality games where it uses the two cameras on the front. Oh, also you can take pictures in 3D. I haven't tried it yet, but the fact that it's there is pretty awesome, I think. I mean, I don't know if they'll have like 3D video capture at a later date. That would be awesome in a title update. If we can make little 3D home movies, that would be amazing. But anyways, so yeah, you can take 3D pictures and you can mess with them just like on the DSi, and so that's pretty cool. I mean, that's I don't know if that's something people want, but the fact that it's there and that it's available now, I don't know if anyone has really thought of it, but the fact that it's there is kind of cool. You have to admit that the fact that you can do that is awesome. But yes, they have alternate reality games or augmented reality games where you place a little card and you play it. And I played one of those for a while and it was pretty cool, but it did have a problem. You have to keep about 14 inches away from the card, and you have to be at a 30. You have to have the cameras at a 30-degree angle to the card, and that's kind of troublesome if you ask me. And especially when they kind of require you to move sideways so you can get better angles on what you're seeing. It's a bit of a problem, and short battery life. So my final comments are it's good, it's solid. What is there is there. They have the tech down. The 3D works flawlessly from what I've seen, but it's missing things, and you can kind of tell if you've been like watching it from launch or not, even when you try to click on options and they just aren't there. It's a little troubling. And the games look pretty good right now, so I think that warrants picking one up right now. But you have to remember you're investing towards the future at this point. What you're doing is you're like, hey, Legend of Zelda is coming out in June. It's Ocarina of Time on 3DS. It's a classic game. If you haven't played it, pick up a 3DS and play it now, because it'll probably be the best version. The graphics will look better, and you'll have some nice, cool little extra features going on. And there's going to be a new Mario game that's kind of going to be like Super Mario Brothers 3 from what people are speculating. You're going to have all of your favorites. There's going to be a Metroid title coming soon, I'm sure. We're getting Metal Gear Solid 3 The Snake Eater. I haven't played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, but I think I'll pick that one up because I've seen the trailers and it just looks absolutely amazing. And there's a new Kid Icarus title, which looks like a mix between Sin and Punishment and Star Fox, kind of, if you know what those two games are, and you can kind of make a picture in your mind. But that looks really good. I'm excited for that. But those titles aren't here yet. The launch lineup was kind of weak. I mean, the best titles out there, really, I think, are probably Super Street Fighter 4 and Pilot Wings Resort. And Super Street Fighter 4 is just a good game on any system, but it doesn't really utilize the 3D from what I've seen so far. All right, so that's my review of the hardware. I'm gonna have to give it a 7, probably, just because it's missing a lot of things. It feels like it's not at its full potential right now. I don't get me wrong, I love it and I do not regret buying it at all, but if you're looking for a full package on day one, you're not gonna get it at this point in time when this video is posted. So yeah, I like I said, I give it a 7. Good. It's solid. It's if you want 3D gaming right now, pick it up because that's what you're gonna get is very solid 3D gaming. But if maybe you don't have the money right now, that's okay. You can pick one up later and you'll get more features than I got on my day one purchase. All right, YouTube. Sorry for the long video. I did not intend for it to be this long. I guess I had a lot to talk about. All right, later.